Hello, hello, hello to everyone, wherever you're doing at the world, wherever this broadcast or broadcasting to meet you. This is Mohammed Shilam from the great state of North Carolina, USA. As usual, we're back uh, to discuss trending events in Sierra Leone. And so, in that respect, we normally can put out certain main points them and sub points them. So we'll call and discuss that. But we all know, say, of course, today is Sunday, March 17th, 2024. So wherever I want to dinner at the wall, welcome. Now, today the topic will be, the trending topic will be the toll gate issue again, continuation of them because we just start before, and then everything else will follow with respect to that toll gate issue and the way we would go about signing contracts with parliaments to engage with foreign companies them, and then we could see at what stage the parliament they now for look through or look at this uproar concerning the raise that be proposed for parliament. Now, before going any further, the other thing I want to say, and for that, talk about the phone numbers them or with contacts while this show is going on. Because we all know, anyone when a regular listener, we know say this is an interactive and a live show. So people have the ability to call back in, make comments, make suggestions, disagree, ask questions, and so on. So we always try to remind people them for please get certain information at hand just in case they want to call live. So we get certain phone numbers that we can always project and then announce. We can project them on the screen, then we can announce. One phone number is if you are in the United States of America, if you're in Canada, if you're in Mexico, we'll get what you call a toll-free number, meaning you don't get for pay for them. All you get for doing that for call 1-866-944-7722. 866-944-7722. If you call from England, then the number for call will be plus 43 and 44, 2080891455. 44 2080891455. If you call from Australia, it's a local number, all the number I call, so they don't cost the caller anything. You don't get for pay for long distance. From Australia, there is plus 61 2909 84337. From Australia, plus 61 2909 84337. And of course, universally, regardless of where you call from, we also get a WhatsApp number that will cost you nothing, whether you call from Sierra Leone or all the other locations there I just mentioned. We'll get a WhatsApp number of 1-343-997-5828. 1-343-997-5828. You can call on the WhatsApp line. And then also, we'll get a radio station in Freetown that you can listen to or can carry with broadcasting, and that's 91.9 FM, 91.9 FM. You don't go here and the whole of Sierra Leone now, as we understand, unless you download the app, the VOS app. VOS has an app. Maybe throughout the show, we will display the apps them. So if you want to download the VOS app, you will be able to catch the radio side of the broadcasting. So then, of course, we're being carried on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and so on. So with that said, I want to pass on over to my co-host, Mr. Victor Mengat, who resides in Great Britain, with whom I present this show every weekend or every Sunday. So I will turn it over to Mr. Mengot for making your opening, and then we'll and he may even I can yield to him announcing what the topic is going to be today, as I touch on, and we'll move forward from there. So, Mr. Mengot, to you, sir.
Yes, Pambulem in Akusha, in a good day, in a good afternoon, if you day across the pond, as we can say, they call the Atlantic the pond, if you day America, if you day England, if you day Sierra Leone, good evening. I know say this is the first month, Ramadan Mubarak, to all the people them, and as you can see, me na Fulatong man, me na Christmas. You can see again me Ramadan attire, you know, and let God give you all blessing for this past month, because the two religions and they fast at the same time, although the Christian one is not too prominent, because this is not the season of Lent and also not the season of Ramadan. But now come to business today. Today what you want to talk about, now this Tollgate. And one thing, this is not the third program we do now. We get them from reliable source them from with people that way they listen to, we say, what would they do topic them? What would they do follow up? And that's what they do now in this program. Because this Tollgate business not do it. They may not get an initial meeting where the speaker been chair, where people then say they not agree with the increase. Then they may get a second meeting where they may call the people them where been there at the toll, where they organize the toll, when at the China Railway 7th Group, then call the Sierra Leone Roads Authority, where then at the technical arm of the Ministry of Works and Public Assets. But just to remind you, at the time when they do the toll, this ministry, we also will change name. And also Mr. Shilon King, he always commented this. Because at the time we been get the ministry that we call a Ministry of Works, Housing and Infrastructure. And so it be named under the previous government. Now we they call a Ministry of Works and Public Assets. And that ministry they get for the reports to Parliament. So and the way they set up with Parliament, each ministry and the agency under their ministry, then they get a committee where they look into their affairs. And what's in the mandate of that committee they now for look into the policy, the finance, and administration, and also technical issue like the agreement where they go sign. And according to parliamentary rules and regulation, Parliament get their own rules where they call standing orders. And the standing orders where they can say SO Mr. Speaker, SO2, SO14, where most of we people they don't understand, that SO stand for standing orders, then are rules and procedures of Parliament. So you get SO 18, 1 and 2. We say for let governments increase tax or go into any agreement where they introduce fees. Now only Parliament get for debate them and approval. So now that process the Parliament day with this Tollgate. So this is the third meeting. But before we go to what happened on the 14th, he always say, he say, if you don't know, say you go, no, say you come out. And that makes one take people them back. Because as we can say at this show, the politicians them, regardless of whether na APC or SLPP, collectively na they in a parliament. And na they get right for looking to all NTR. So one show for start waiting at the role where they are play. Because at the time, they look at the agreement, waiting the agreement say, and the fees. Then we will now bring it back to the last meeting we get on Thursday. But before we start this part, since this is not trending issue, I know say me lead presenter, if we make that, towards the end of the show, for the last 30 minutes, we will be in at the chance, because one Rob Motspan, two things that were trendy. One, now this new sardine factory where they don't open, where President go open and the speech we make. and want to see how that they relate to investment, employment, and the feed salon program. Then also, another thing we rob much pan, small, we don't say, but people are not rob much pan. Now this kush business, we see some very disturbing video where they go around, where they say they go bury people in a mass grave when a kush victims. So then they say, now trend it to happen, we go and give a take on that. We not say, but people are not talk about that, but towards the end of the program, we go reserve that time there for mention, and because normally we program they are waiting to happen during the week. So we go start with this toll gate. And before I go, and as I say, I want to take in a down what you can call memory lane. Go back in time to when they be introduced this toll here, the minister will be get attending in the allergic chemosity, where can go before parliament, waiting parliamentary and they say, both from the ruling party by then when APC and the opposition when SLPP. And by sheer coincidence, the present chairman of the committee, where they look into this toll, Honorable Basilu Siliki, be talk another debate today. So we want to tell people what they all been saying. Because from that 10 day to now, they not discuss anything past where this happened. So let's stop here and hand over if the colleague want to make any other remark before I go begin go through. And the information what they produce now a report in Parliament, because Parliament, they report, they call it, then waiting and call the Hansard. The Hansard, the origin, now from the British Parliament. The first person will begin report Parliament proceedings. I think say the name will be Hansard. Now from in now they get a report, we then call the Hansard report, where all Commonwealth Parliament, then they report Parliament. So what do they can produce now record of how this thing begin. As then he say, that married with the suite, now the bachelor's leave, you don't know. So now the bachelor's leave will go past. So, but it look like this married now between the government, the CRG, and the people in Okuno. And there's a lot of concern. So over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mangot. Couple of things. First, let the listeners know say the lines are open. If they get anything in mind for call about or for sending comments, they are quite welcome from this point on. We also know say I can want to remind people and for say this is a 2-hour show. So and their issues there can be talked about at length. So we try to keep everything within limits. So I also want to remind we callers them for say anything when you want to call and comment about, please remember there's a 3-hour limit. 3 minutes limit. 3 minutes. So you therefore try for rearrange your comment or your topic in such a way as to be able to address them within that 3-minute day. But I also could remind people and for say, in the event you're not able, because not to everybody a fast talker, it's okay. You can just for the convenience of everyone, listeners and presenters, just try for end your conversation or statement at the 3-minute mark, and then call again if you want for continue some issues where you not be able to reach. So please, I'm reminding you people about that. Just do that for we. Then also on this Tollgate thing, because we don't point out last week, we're not deal into that very, very seriously. But on the Tollgate thing, we find out for say, it kind of align with that of the airport tax will go up recently. We want Parliament to be able for really look into that too. Well, how did that increase come about? Because they do an airport tax increase just this much. We not think say them follow the procedure because, like I say, they are now just parallel type of arrangement. So the kind of arrangement where they make with the Turkish company within the airport, and the same kind of arrangement they make with the Chinese company where they deal with the toll gate. So Parliament is supposed to be involved in every one of them. If anything we label as tax, it should be at the behest of Parliament, not to just the minister, as Minister Sandy just get up and talk about Tollgate and the airport, and then because there was no loud outcry about the airports, that went into effect in a subtle, in a quiet way. But again, what would they attack? Well, first of all, we are losing business on the airport business. I don't know why the government cannot be that concerned. We are losing tremendous business to Guinea airports. Why? It's airport fees and all that in there. And Liberia. I don't know why we not think say that is important. Why we not think say that concern for be addressed by Parliament. And I don't understand why they just go ahead and brush over it and just get the increase into effect anyway, without regard to what the laws are in the country. And the other thing I want to point out, the country is being run as if Parliament is above the law, the executive branch is above the law. Laws that are passed in the country not only for people that will fall outside. If you're not a parliamentarian, you not belong to the executive, then the laws are for you. But it's clear by the behavior that they wait for where they make the laws, wait for make sure the laws are complied with, are the ones who right from the get-go begin to infringe on the law, violate the law, then they expect everybody else to follow. My other concern has been of late the utter contempt where Parliament get for the people. And I think the government also, when I say the government, I talk about the executive, they also seem to have nothing but contempt for the people, as if people can't reason, can't think, because they're not even, they try to give with the respect what due, for take time and explain something to we address issues. Then just they do things as they please, not as they should act. So those are some of the things then we want to talk about. But the airport tax is it's not secondary. It's concurrent in a way to within the toll gate, because now the same violation, the same principles and the same agreements. And last but not least, just for this moment, I also, because I've been commenting the last time, say the speaker in his speech about what in Parliament get for do on this toll gate thing had mentioned somewhere that not to the validity or the efficacy of the agreement that is under question, now whether we can do anything. And I take in the position that, well, some of we not think say the agreement is valid, and some of we think say even if it's there is a legal remedy. We not suggest say let the government just unilaterally just back out of the agreement, but there are remedies at law, either in the courts of Sierra Leone or at an international level, by which we can look about, I use the word unconscionability, that the unconscionability nature of the agreement requires what you call in law equitable relief. So there is such a thing in law or at law, a relief called equitable relief. I think this is a classic case in which equitable we can back off and let them take we to court, or we can go to court and enforce that part there where they ask the court for give equitable relief, in the sense that the agreement is so lopsided, is so one-sided, is so unconscionable, that is grossly unfair, that people should be, or a country should be subject to, whereby it receives 5% of the income from the toll gate, only 5%, and then that 5% I don't think the country even gets it in actual cash. There are other ways it was dealt with in the agreement. But the lucky thing for we all now, we have Mr. Mengot, who I have told you people, now expert in some of them things here. And we are glad to have him. The country is blessed to have him. Our show is blessed to have him. So I go try for lecture we enlighten we again as to what we've done wrong and what we continue to do wrong. And this is where if we continue to do the same wrong thing, we get into agreements that are disadvantageous to the country. We're not to give the country anything, any good returns on investments, and we continue to make that kind of agreement then they. I think this is what I consider to be the contempt where I think say the governments they deal with the people within the rule. Because I mean it don't make any sense. Well, with that said, I want to go back to Mr. Mengot. Let's start off with this Tollgate thing, and there we discuss that because how far Parliament does go, watching at the nature of the discussions within the gate of late on that issue, and how much longer is it going to take them? And so when I hear Mr. Mengot talk about the answered report, so I think it will give it a good length of information as to what the answered report contain. Before I switch to Mr. Mengot, the other thing I want to do is to be able to not forget too many callers on hold. We'll take one call and then we'll switch to Mr. Mengot. Hello, caller. What's I the call from? And if you mind,
I call from the United States, I'm a concerned citizen.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you very much for calling. We appreciate your call. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to contribute because the listing Mr. Mengot they say something about every government when they come the parliamentarian, each and everyone gets certain area and every ministry where they oversee. Or then they add and can put some committee them where this day for Ministry of Information or so then put education, communication, some then can mix them in 2 in 1, 3 in 1. So my own question where me they ask whose mechanism go make we at least the corruption we go able enforce them because corruption they all around the world. Where we go able to enforce them. This government, the only two people in the grumble now because the way the outside the entire count are there for it, not they operate the way for operate again, I make. But from when we get small sense, checking time, where you say outside the entire count are there for it. Now, in continuity to this time. It just happens, say this government now can reduce in a way and squeeze them where people are not able to get waiting and forget. Or we then pick the fish out of the bone. Now I make people then they grumble. Because if we can relate, me na APC picking. APC don't rule at over 23 years checking time or not, or 22 before even he passed the baton or whatever to the others them. So APC don't rule past SAPP. But the same system now they continue. Talking about the parliament, where they don't share their committee then they. Even the board member, the way they can choose. I've been work for Sierra Leone. All them people, then the way the manager of the company, them, the management of one company, don't go give you, like Sierra Leone, they don't go give you free call to Europe. You're not board member or you're not committee member in a parliament. They don't go lock you out with all lentin and the any trade then they do. Non-prosecution, not they. Because they don't bribe you down. Now that they happen. Any committee where they set now for them benefit. They know they act, and the judiciary give more strength to the president, and that strength they make the parliament doom. Any president will come, the parliament doom. The only time you go see parliament act now, the president not get hands on waiting they go on, and not get any interest, will not go affect them. But anything they affect the president, the parliament not get seen. I remember the first time where the SLPP wins. Some parliamentarians them they come out, they talk something. Then cut quota, waiting the parliament is where then sign say everybody forget. Then cut some of them. They not get all them facility then they. Because why? Then they talk. Then get for set them out just for let them get waiting and deserve. So if all them corruption and they go down, no side not the way able put we can stop them. The judiciary not can stop them, no side not can stop them. Then what will they talk? How we go enforce this corruption? We go make at least the three legislators work side by side without no interference. Then I feel say we go able to get a good Mama Salon, because me not they call the government. I don't know who I go can save we, but Mama Salon. So let me stop here first. I go the listing, maybe I'll call back.
Well, thank you very much, concerned citizen. We appreciate it. Everything you say is well taken. And but some of the things that you outline, the problem is there. So it's a matter of where do we begin? Where do we start? We know.
Anyway, Mr. Shillon, I would like to respond to that caller quickly, because we get time for going to the reports. Because what they talk about accountability, right? Now, instead of talk about the separation of powers between the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. That now we not get na salon. And the reason why we not get that now because of what we can call state capture. Where inside with constitution, there are so many powers, executive powers given to the president. I know, Lord, take the one example now, which you always don't mention. That idea where we current clerk of parliament, who is head of administration, is appointed as it pleases the president. But if one look at the positivity, there are three ways for all government to account. Number one, you get the annual audit report. And we all know what's happen with the annual audit report and the former auditor general. Because the annual audit report, the auditor, they work directly with parliament. They get for audit all government ministries and departments. Once you get money from the consolidated fund, they get for submit that report to parliament. Parliament get for send them to the Public Accounts Committee. Let them look at and then discuss, and then a one way. That system they will get for improver. The second way in the old government to account, every year the Minister of Finance they prepare budgets. And in them budgets, then before they prepare the budget, each ministry or departmental agency, they can make in budget proposal. How much money he wants for the year. But again, when there are things that we can do, if you want to accountability, when then they discuss, if they call the ministry, then they come, the budgets them, the money they either they overspend or if they not account for them. I think so forget a system where you go put sanction on the ministries them for letting them not get money only for essential services them. Things that were vital for the upkeep of the people. The third one when I know they can't delve on now the committee them, now parliament, the oversight committees them. Where in England we they call them select committee, departmental select committees, because they relate to every department and ministry. So that the three way down for check. So that's where the improvement comes. And parliament gets a very big role on that. So having explained this, let's come out to the main topic of today, where now this Tollgate, because I want to go back in time and now they go show how parliament they work. Because on the 17th of August, 2017, the then Minister of Public Transport and Public Works, or Minister of Works, Housing and Infrastructure, Alhaji Kemosi said, right? Normally, when you get in documents here, you get for move a motion in Parliament. For say you bring that to their attention. And I will go do it today for let member then go participate. The first two people the way I go read what in them is say during that time day. Now the minister at the time and the present chairman of the works committee. Because some of the things they would say get legal implications, where my co-host being the lawyer, will comment on that for we. So we will take a step by step. Because this is a participatory approach. Now join on. While in all kinds of understand. But let understand, we get for go first, USA it begin. So on this 17th of August, the minister been go to the call Mr. Speaker and say, in the move a motion where the Honorable House for ratify the stakeholder communique on the agreed toll fees for tricycles, what they call keke, for vehicles with a different category, both commercial and private, and trailers where they apply the Wellington Mashaka Highway. So, for the toll, they put them vehicle into groups. So I remind people of the groups. Then group 1, when a category 1, then a 3-wheel motorcycle, when a keke. At the time, the toll fee na be 1,000, where they approve. Now in the 30 day now, where they want increase. Sedan taxi, when a group 2, the toll fee na be 2,000. Now like then Nissan, Motocar, then Fodo. Then you get an SUV, when I'm government minister, then they use Boku, and then people then can command them. Jeep, pickup, minibus, and then medium bus, where they 1 to 17 seats. Now 4,000. Then the majority of the Puda them. Last stop here and telling her, at the time, that 4,000, the way they agree, the exchange rate of the dollar to the Leone was roughly between 7,500 and 800 Leones to a dollar. So at the time, if you take that fee there, now be 50 cents, half a dollar. Right? Now the exchange rates don't be almost 24,000. Right? Now that makes so we see this new fee for that one where they say, and the talk say, if it be 12,000. So I think saying that now so then link up. Then I'm your supposition. Then you get group 4, when a coach, what do they call them? Big boss them. 18 passenger seats and above. Light truck, then medium truck, then 10-wheel fuel Bowser. Then on now 18,000. So if you take at that time, it's roughly just over $3. Then the heavy goods vehicle, then mining truck, then semi-trailer, flatbed truck, how they carry them, cement, then rest. Then 183,000. Then a group 5. Then group 6, now then fuel Bowser them. Then clarify and say total axles are 3 or 4, but not a trailer. Now they want the way they carry petrol. So now be the group down there. But when they go discuss them on this 18th in the Parliament, when the minister introduced them, the one way he been concerned about. Now that group 3, where our sources something what they talk about that because the SUV there, now they mostly they self they use. And then money man them. Because then 4-wheel drive they make a member one my favorite African president, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. We been say, which man don't go na moon? Because remember the first landing at the moon. We Africans, we still struggle for going to our village. Because we politicians, they know they make road, they prefer them buy them big motorcar when a 4x4. Where if not dry season, then they drive past and dust the people the way they walk. So now make sure they're concerned about them vehicle and then they call SUV. SUV means sport utility vehicle. So now he say, what's in the minister been saying the time? He say one tell Parliament say that government don't review the price. Because originally, just like what this minister been tell me, they may say the SUV there for pay 12,000. Right? He say now they don't put it to 4,000. And he said a good thing. Now that 10 day, now so me say. Then he also say, how they get them consortium here? Then call them people, them way they go call, say, the one the way you call them grassroots, you call kind name. Because me get me on time for them. When they talk about grassroots, the same grassroots the way they feel to say the grass is greener on the other side, where they try for left the country. Then you get with civil society organization them. So the people that when they call at the time, then call the Sierra Leone Roads Authority, when at the technical arm of roads that they set standards, then call the International Trade Organization, the Motor Drivers Union, the Ministry of Youth Affairs, and truck owners. I think at that time they call the ITUA, Indigenous Transport Owners Association. So now them people they didn't call, they say we hold workshop with them, then tell them about the toll. But let me tell you the interesting thing with the statement where the minister make. He tell Parliament say, in can assure Parliament say this document say we end up produce so we them for can ratify. 80% of Salon people them they agree for the document. That statement there where them politician can make. How we do manage say 80% of the people them? They may do a survey? No. So he say, well, Parliament 80% don't agree. So now that makes so we all for agree with them toll price there. But also remind me again, say why they bring in a Parliament. Now what have been talked about under the Parliamentary rules and procedures, standing order 1 and 2. It said we must come to Parliament to make sure that we are right to make it legal. In that regard, the Ministry of Works and stakeholders, now that basis they do presentation, right? And it remind we come back to what you talk. He said, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, any minister in the right mind dealing with this matter must know that he has to come to Parliament to affect such changes in price, right? So in other words, he been talking at the time. So whether any minister when a tax or thing if you come Parliament for approval. So now the sweet much than they will make. He said in aware of the relevance and the stakeholder they communicate. And so a beginning statement. Then the speaker said, when a very interesting thing. He said, he will give chance to the MP then from the two sides. At that time, the two main parties in the Parliament, now be SLPP and APC. So he will give them 2 minutes. Because they were hurry for go, now that time they want to go make memorial for their mudslide victims. And he said, now they will make the mistake. When the same mistake we don't make back. Because the speaker at the time said, we are just here to talk about reduction on prices and nothing more. So talking about reduction on price should not be an issue. So in other words, all them can go for now for say, okay, now the price no more, we know they look at the contract. So from the beginning, we don't get it wrong. They don't be spending enough time for look at the contract then, some of the failings. But as we they go, members then go see where people and they discuss, where people will see some of the things that will come up. So now, so the minister say, the minister also talk about say, you know, say, as they talk and say, things wrong, country triangle. But a pool parable say, Rome was not built in a day. You must have a starting point.
No, this guys.
But he say, he like where the people they agree. But this 80% of people who agree, not tell me how we get that figure though. That I tell me. He said the whole stakeholder workshop all over for agreed and price and day. So now saw the minister say, let's stop there first and look. If you get anything for say, then I will come to the next person where I'm talk, what he been said at the time, when at the present chairman of the Public Works Committee, when Honorable Basilu Siliki. Because I will remain in a so everywhere they get this session, they always tell people and say, in where them in there, he not been agree, he not been supporter. But he take responsibility because Parliament's the majority. He say not be even vote safe. But if since that the APC been get majority, then pass them anyway, then go with them. But now we remind people and say, this government, and in particular with president, where it be the campaign, that Tollgate then one issue where they say, when kind of government in go look at. So it don't serve the first time, 5 years, they no one they talk about that. It then by second time now, when at the second year, the first year in the book, when they want to raise this thing, where people they holler, 9 Parliament in total. Let's stop here first and see if you are Rob Mott Pawiti, I don't say so far.
Yeah, well, my own question is, why is Parliament playing a reactive role instead of a proactive role? you will think that them for and there are certain things when they try for push to Parliament for do. It may not even be parliamentary prerogative because when first of all, Parliament they allow Parliament not to raise objection to agreements being and signed, contract being entered into by the government. When are the other way around, where Parliament for approve or ratify any prospective agreement before it becomes an agreement. So then they wait, and then so the practice now in Sierra Leone is the government sees something, then skip parliamentary process, then go ahead and get the ministers them and put them a signature to a piece of paper as an agreement. And then if things like the Arise deal with them do now, I think na Lunchar or na Northern Province Day, when there is some objection or there is something that look practical, then that's when Parliament steps in and say, oh, the procedure. In fact, they don't even say the procedure is not followed. The government just simply presents them paper here to Parliament for let Parliament rub a stamp. Because it's almost a given that they know say they not go for go convince any parliamentarian. That deal may have been done much earlier. It's a matter of just a pro forma act by Parliament. Agreements or proposed agreements are submitted, and then the next thing you know, then get a signature. So this again is what I'm talking about. Is to Parliament. Well, again, let me point out to people. With Parliament, not to, even though they're the legislative body, the body where they make laws, we're entrusted with the power, and they may be the most important in terms of organizational wise, in terms of how the government runs. They may be the most important body of the three arms, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. But they have almost abdicated the role and pushed that responsibility to the executive. The trouble with that is, if for the good of the country, this is the thing we keep talking about. And maybe the executive is not going to take upon itself, they're going to then get the power. So they might say, why we could try for diminish some of the power that we'll get. But Parliament can play an activist role now by taking back the power we then naturally get by the Constitution. Let's remember saying that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Parliament then they pass the laws, but now Parliament now the number one body. So if they see say procedurally they are making errors, just like we talk about the appointment of this clerk of Parliament, I don't care what they do, because first of all, I think it's disgraceful for you get a parliament, a clerk of Parliament, who engage in improprieties, and that the president can't resolve that. This is a parliamentary issue, a parliamentary prerogative. The president should have no business there. So I'm saying this only because if we want to straighten the system, if we want to make the system work, if we are really committed and sincere, they have to go back and Parliament get the power, I can't tell when procedurally, for begin curtail some of them errors there what they make, because definitely it's an error for the president for appoint the clerk of Parliament, because like I say, the president should have no authority to appoint even a dog catcher in the Parliament, not even a security guard. I mean, it just defeat the purpose. If the president get hands for begin for appoint staff, and not only appoint them, but for them the staff who they appoint the Parliament, they under their control. Because now we'll get this scandal with the clerk. What is going on? Then say, by interpretation, as it pleases the president for making the clerk of court, it has to please the president for sack him or for fire.
Displease the president.
Yeah, it has to displease the president for. So if the president not show indication of displeasure, then he stays. And then we get the weakest branch of the system when the judiciary, and because now the president control the prosecutorial side of the system, so nobody's talking about criminal charges being brought against, even though the clerking activities them clearly borders on criminality. I mean, there's no other way around that. But that's not even is not even being said. And so, how serious are we? And how committed are we? How sincere are we for really try for straighten out the system? Because with the talk, again, we can always bring this up. Now you just see this Tollgate thing, what Mr. Mengot will elaborate on. This Tollgate agreement was signed under APC, then continued for 5 years, even though the president used that agreement today and the Tollgate issue as one of his campaign issues them some 5.5 years ago. Once he comes in and he see, say, well, maybe then Indian government can benefit from it, he made it untouchable. In fact, he exacerbates the worsening situation by getting the minister for Kantok say, I broke the law again by saying, would the increase March 1st? So when is this going to stop? When is Parliament going to do its job? You know, it's tough enough. We'll get a very weak judiciary that is not able to hold the other branches accountable. You know, a clerk to do as he pleases, because if he go say get protection, you know, and Parliament then they do as they want. Nobody to challenge them because some maybe people in things say you cannot. And then in the meantime, the country they go through a heck of a time. And I point out one thing when we start talking. The Tollgate thing is similar, is almost identical to that of the airport increase or increment will just go up this March. We want the Parliament look into that also because it falls on the same principle at stake now. The Parliament had nothing to do with this latest increase will take place, and Parliament should have had something to do with it. And a similar kind of agreement they sign. We need for Parliament for begin for look into then, but Parliament not for the play reactive role. It's almost like a conspiracy. Until they are caught red-handed, they don't address issues like this. So Parliament was going to sit and let this toll fee go up, and people will not raise hell about it. They were just going to let it slide under the, under the radar. So
okay, sir.
I mean, yeah. So this is
Thank
the
you
situation.
very much. I see because of time, we get one important parliamentarian.
May I interrupt you? I think there was a caller.
Okay, yeah, go ahead with the caller.
Let me just take a call. Hello, caller. Who side the call from? And if you want, you can tell me your name.
Hello, Mr. Shilon Abdul call.
Yes, Mr. Abdul, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, I just want give me your submissions on this topic. I believe the government in, government out, they always make mistake in entering into the country out here, especially through the toll road and the airport project. We're not in a bill of latest transfer. But government, again, they lose sight of the fact for can focus the public. When Mr. Mengot made a mention, when they enter into the Tollgate project, you mentioned the encouragement union, the civil society, but you don't mention the Sierra Leone Association of Engineers. And we did call them the Sierra Leone Association of Engineers because they are experts. And you get to call people that we know complete governance, and as the Association of Engineers, you get people that we study economic engineering, we then therefore be part in writing them their agreement here, so that they will be involved because they are the experts in this area. But I don't know if they involve them on the same problem with the gas, even with the mining and contracts of the government is going to communism. Government, they fail for come invite those who are experts. You call mining engineers, mining economic engineers, and therefore they let them for they in the right thing. Because if you just take the project now, the Sierra Leone, now the law officers department, they're not gonna have knowledge in everything. But experts in them that when engineers then either at the mining side, at the transport and the aviation side, then get to involve in writing the contract so that we are able to help government in writing the contract so that you don't go backfire like how you don't be so delayed today. So I believe the government has to do more. They may involve the of engineers in writing them here. Because even at the parliament, like when you say the example we give for Britain, in every bill where they write, then they involve experts there or can give their own expert opinion. But we all know to say it. People that can just sit down at the law officers department, they write a bill, then sit on a parliament without getting input from the expert. So I just want to get your opinion. They involve the administration of engineers when they did them project. So thank you. I'll call back.
Okay, let me answer Mr. Abdul. For the institute, Sierra Leone Institution of Engineers, and I am a member of that institution. Not only that, I'm also a member of an international one, a fellow of the Chartered Institution of Highways and Transportation. Now, when government they do them here, the engineers now make sure called SLRA, Sierra Leone Roads Authority. The engineers then are SLRA, Sierra Leone Roads Authority. I will tell you, say, nearly all of them are members of the Sierra Leone Institution of Engineers. Right? But that said, therefore call the institute of itself, apart because the one the way they work they get vested interest already. But if you call the institute, let them send independent engineers, then they go work. Because even in the contract, it didn't the contract say some of the information where the China's Railway 7th Group for provide when are the data we can call in traffic management and engineering AADT, annual average daily traffic. Then forget an independent engineer for verify them data there. We for sure almost vehicle and they use the toll gates. Whether they relative to the charges they would make. That has never been done for the past 7 years. And let me give people some parallel. I was privileged to work for answer you, in the British Parliament as a committee specialist in the Transport Committee. Just like how you get this Works Committee. And here, every committee, get 1 or 2 specialists them, when they guide them, when the committee they deliberate on their measure. Yeah. And you can't be expert in all, but they also get expert them from industries, like what they talk so. Then get academics them, so when they do their inquiry, then they call them for them and can guide the MPs them, so they go understand the technical things, you know. Now, a similar thing will happen now. I'll do case study in the UK. The UK been gets what you call the Dartford Tunnel. This is a tunnel where they build under the Thames, way for link part of the southeast to the county of Kent. Similarly, now they may get Tollgate and they may get 20-year concession. But because they may monitor the flow of passengers, the tollway and they collect, and I was part of that inquiry, giving technical advice to the MPs. They were able to know that then pay off for that improvement day in half the time, within 10 years instead of 20 years. So after they paid on for that, the rest of the time, government say, okay, let me reduce the toll fee and make sure so we calculate how much maintenance they will use for let we get money for maintain the tunnel. But then they also provide an alternative. If you not use the tunnel, when at the Dartford Bridge, when at some of the thing the way with people them being the talk but for these toll gates. So, but now la Kanto, and it go come out now this person, this Honorable Basiru Siliki, now be member of Parliament at the time, representing the SLPP. Coincidentally, he is now the chair of this committee where they look into these toll gates. And now go into a report on the Hansard report. He then a parliamentary record, not to be make them up. When they call him for speak, he say, Mr. Speaker, he tell the speaker, thank you. He said, he mean talk about then toll price here we go through the house. And at the time, he said, they mean very high for the people in the country, considering the economic situation. And he said at the time, people they not can afford for pay. Remember, at the time he said they not go afford for pay. And he will bring hardship to the country. But if at that time, people they not afford for pay, why now when they chair the committee, they ask people and then they can't tell them what they can afford. Well, in principle, at the time when the opposition, he said people they not go afford that. He said also, the other two he mentioned, he said, Mr. Speaker, I've been saying this time without number. This is direct quote. We should have an alternative route rather than just toll road. It had been said in this document that they were going to pave an optional route. It is in this document. So he confirmed. Now you know what? So the record day say they will get an alternative road. It didn't have the document. But this is not one of the things where they complain, but we know they. And now they in charge, now the big allejo. But let's continue for say what he say. He said, Mr. Speaker, he may expect more review to be done on the agreement. And he says, Sierra Leoneans are going to pay for this road and we're going to be paying toll fee for 27 years. And then he talked, one thing was very interesting. He quote, he said, I will read on pages of the original contract, Article 2.5. In a member, it states, the government of Sierra Leone shall be receiving 5% during period in which we are going to pay the loan. And after the completion of the loan, the government of Sierra Leone will be receiving 10%. Take note, Mr. Sheila, while I comment on that. He said, presently, we have started paying toll gate fees when the road is 10% complete. This means that our own part of the agreement, which is 5% of us, should be received by us according to Article 252 in the original contract. Right? It is not going to, but then he said, the China Railway 7 Group say, they are not going to give us the 5%. They are going to use the 5% as a government to construct the 90% remaining road. So in other words, so he said, that 5% they will forgive you, right? 9 they use now for construct the remaining road because they may not start the eastern part. So in other words, now this crow can say, then take we own fat fry we. Not to me say, now answer the report, it is on record. Then he asked the question, he said, how can you tax us to pay for road which you construct with our own money for 27 years? Mr. Speaker, we are going to begin to pay 100% of the toll road starting from tomorrow, then at the next day. You have been using the road without paying toll fees. Right? So it continued. The other thing we say, he said, assuming you're leaving Mastercard, you will pay part paying toll for that point. We have been using the road with Mastercard to Waterloo without anything. This is bringing more suffering to the people. Then the speaker said, let quote, he said, one of the bullet points on the second page, the speaker asked him for reader. Right? He read him, he said, he tell the speaker, say, Now, it giving the reference. So let's stop here now, and you listen to this man now with in charge of the inquiry. Waiting, he been say at the time when the debater. I don't know if you get anything for Rob Mott before we continue.
Well, this is the thing.
Especially with the contract.
I keep repeating myself that the parliamentarians and people, ministers, maybe the president himself, don't seem to have the due regard, we didn't forget, for the people within the govern or the people who elect them. Because listening to what you just say, 27 years for pay, well, first of all, the agreement is bad on its face in the sense that instead of limiting the agreement there to a specific amount of years, if it's a 27-year agreement, I don't know all the content of the agreement or the contract, but they also should say, but in the event, because there should be a set principal amount that must be paid back, since we're not to the original investors then, or we're not to even co-investors. Now the Chinese then can put their expertise and everything there. But the agreement, it will seem to me, will be, okay, wanna make that road there for we. In return, the people will pay, not the Sierra Leone government they pay now. The people will pay pay on the back for their expenses by paying toll. All right, let's say the Chinese then say we want 27 years, and that it will take based upon our own projection. We can say, okay, we can counter that by saying, okay, we're not mind for 27 years. We think that's too long. But should we pay una? First of all, we get to know how much it costs now for make this road. Second of all, should we pay una in 15 years?
No, just to buttress here, they say the total cost is $161 million.
Okay, let's say it's 161 million, but the agreement should have a clause that says, okay, we project, now like where you get mortgage now like in America, yeah, then give you a 30-year mortgage payment. Then say you get 30 years for pay for this house. Where would the finance? But you also have the right for pay for that house day, half the period of time. You can pay for it in 15 years, you can pay for it in 10 years. So, first of all, and I qualify my answer by saying, I don't know all the terms of the agreement, but I wonder what provision is made for early payment, completion of repaying the loan, the $160 or more $1 million. Two, there should be a principal amount where we always for know as you pay, as you just said, this 160 million. So we're gonna know waiting to go to principal if not so the agreement is made, and what is going into interest, because sometimes interest so that 27-year day, if the agreement is written.
Let just make one clarification, sir. The payment now for 3 parts, or I will say 4 parts. Number 1, now the principal of the loan. Number 2, now the interest on the principal loan. Number 3, now the cost of maintenance over the 27-year period. Because that money they collect, they get for use and for maintain the road. More importantly, let me read back what he been saying, where I want to comment on where this Mr. Basiru Siliki been say, right? Because it say what the Chinese then say, it say according to Article 25.2 in the original contract, the CSRG, when are the company, the 5% self where they say they promise government, they say they not go give government that 5%. Then go use that 5% they, as the government in your share for construct the 90% of the remainder of the road. Then they say, it means the people of Sierra Leone for pay for this road, and when the road is only 10% complete, so we begin pay when the road 10% complete. That is what he said. To me, the remaining 90% is going to be paid by the people of the country. How can you tax us for pay for a road which we are constructing with our own money for 27 years? So now that makes us carry you back. So waiting I take on that.
Okay, and just for hold off a little bit, in order not to keep people holding too long, let me just take a quick call, then we'll go back and go try for deal with that issue there. Hello, caller. What side you call from? And if you want, you can give me your name.
Hello, Mr. Shilon. Mr. Mengo, this now Omar the call.
Hello, Mr. Omar. Thanks for calling. Thanks for calling.
Okay. Yeah, I don't follow up the program, Anyway, nice discussion, And you see, all this don't prove say the government need to listen to we, and most of the policies that would pass, in order in the favor of the Sierra Leoneans, And what me believe see most of them topic they are going to discuss them late. I feel so we go for change your strategy to all those discussions. We go for attack the problem right from the beginning. So if you attack the problem right from the beginning, then this show, because all me can say this always happen at Parliament, this inquiry and everything are just a show that they put on. We know how eager for end up. We know what's in the result. We know how eager for end up. And this one not to the first one, not going to be the last one. So what me for don't suggest, I feel say a lot of Sierra Leoneans suggest the same thing. We go for attack the problems most of the time from the beginning. And that therefore involve the media, therefore involve the ordinary citizens, and therefore involve the politicians and also the civil society. But in my case in Sierra Leone, I watched one of these programs where in the follow up this particular topic here. There was a civil society man studio with the minister. Could you imagine that civil society man not give that minister the chance let it talk? From the beginning to the ending, he just defend the minister. Just the defender, that civil society man, now one of the most prominent civil society people in our country. But give that minister one chance for let it talk. And even able get, even give the man we interview the minister enough chance for even ask the minister most of the questions. So again, let me say we go for going at the beginning. There are a lot of things where they happen in that country, a lot of policies. Most of the time, we can just end up for the end part of it to discuss them. But I feel so we go for make the discussion open at the beginning. We go for make policy, we go for create a conversation wherein the government technically then go for be forced at least for discuss policies or for discuss agreement or contact with any other outsiders with the Sierra Leoneans and make sure they are aware. Because now that they happen everywhere. I don't know why we on country is different. We need to see now way then don't go arrange them, they arrange you not more fine and they tell them go can't begin to speak English, so some of you don't understand. Law we start to tackle the issues from the beginning. There are a lot of issues. This one now just one. We get another one again way happen where go a little bit out of topic. And discuss that last time I on a program again about the airport. Nobody's talking about it. Now when people are going go build 4, 5, 6 story houses there, now you tell people to talk. Then now you tell you go come to the public, now you tell go use 2-3 months for just discuss them. When and now we for discuss, I'll make momentum around them, people are listening and we shape the discussions where they go on. Then recently again, the mayor of Freetown, they again they done say there is a project for build school. Could you imagine for build school inside a slum area for build school in a slum way before say that every time water they call that place, every time people there at that place. We still get again silent. We the wait again for this particular time. We spend 2-3 months for discuss them. So let we start for the attack issues at the beginning. But other than that, believe me, all we going to do a lip service. We not say una all the discusser, una mean good, we not say una mean well for the country. But I feel say we got for the change of strategy because this strategy will get in the work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Omar. I'll be the try for question, but I don't want to interrupt your flow of thought. When you say the airport, because in the past you had raised the issue about the former or local airport in Kenema, where you said and try for, I hope you did, even though you don't hang up, but you mentioned the airport in Kenema, because that's where you use for live. You say now just next door to Usai Ubitap, where some politician or some minister or whoever is in charge is partitioning the land now for build houses or housing there. So that was of great concern. Instead of we talk in terms of revitalizing some of the infrastructural transportation system here will be get. We're not even thinking in terms of replacing internal flights anymore. We're thinking of just substituting that airport and with residential or with buildings. We don't even know with constructions. We don't even know if it's residential or commercial. So if you call back, please just tell me which airport you get in mind. Then you also talk about building school with the mayor being excited about building school in the slums, but you not tell me. I wish you can specify which slum area you talk about, which part. I'm sure most likely in a Freetown, but just tell which, whether in a Krube, whether in a Bome, because there are a lot of slums around the city. Okay, so just try for enlightening way. So if you can do that, we're gonna appreciate that. Thirdly, you talk about we're going for change with strategy. Well, we meaning you talk about me, you talk about Mr. Mengot, you talk about we were there on the other side where they try to propose and talk about issues that are not going in the right way. Now that's a good idea, but how do we do it? Because what you mean, Mr. Mengot, they do right this moment. Now a change in strategy, would you revisit, for example, this Tollgate, we'll get the feeling say Parliament go on for sweeper under the rug. We'll get the feeling say that just pro forma act, then they engage in. We'll get the feeling say then go feel say as soon as we forget, then go come back and confirm, then go raise the price anyway without justification, without explaining to the people them why was the agreement of such benefit to the country. That never even touch what Mr. Mengot they talk about the 95% and the 90%. Because listening to Mr. Mengot as the way stated, actually we're going to pay the payroll in perpetuity. Because I'm not looking for say when you pay the $160 million dollar down, nothing still comes to the country. And they're looking for say, in fact, now with the finance, basically we are financing the construction of the road. Now we the finance the payment. Then Mr. Mengot make mention of 3 segments of the agreement. But the 2 segments then paying towards the principal and paying the interest on the loan, that's another thing I do not understand. In the sense that if we pay, because how much would they pay per month or per year, how much they go to principal and how much they go to interest? Because we know say if we pay on principal, if more payment is applied to principal, the payment will be less and less and less faster. But if, let's say, if the agreement is structured in such a way that the first 15 or 10 or 15 years, 90 or more percent of the payments, they go to interest, well, it will take away indeed 27 years for finished paying. But based upon what Mr. Mengot say, almost even after 27 years, we're not going to finish paying. Because now they still say they're not going to clear the toll will continue. What toll? Usually the idea about toll now for just now another form of financing the construction of a road. And when it is financed, there has to be a definite date when that debt date should be paid out. And when it is paid out, the toll should be non-existent. There should not be toll there. So how did they write the agreement? Is this road going to be for the next 100 years, a place where I'm going to pay toll, even if we don't finish in 27 years? I don't know. But let me take some other call. Mr. Mengot, I know you patiently listen, but I'll take 1 or 2 calls. Then I will go back to you, sir. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you call from? You don't have to give your name, but just tell me.
Mr. Omar again the call.
Okay, Mr. Omar.
Okay, first of all, I apologize first to the listeners, because I know say I did discuss something out of the topic, but that's something we at least make it passionate about, For instance, the Kenema airport, now I talk about. Now only one airport Kenema gets. And that one airport the way Kenema gets, the runway is up to 4 miles, according to the old runway. And that one, if they remove and the minister in a media, not was in America, in a media, AYV, they discuss about the new one, but that new airport. They for seller, if they say one seller space for any airport other side. And they not only talk and they don't start action because they don't go put peg them. And we all know Kenema. We know say there is no place where you get flat place for make a runway. So you see, so this one it don't about what you need a try for talk now. That's not that what you talking don't make sense. It makes sense really, and one of them is really important. But the thing is that now we start for the tackle issues from the beginning. And this one, this airport business, we need to discuss about that just because of now the ESTD. And the people where they now they have power. Now so me can take out. Now sorry, I know it's not everybody in APC or not everybody in SLPP. So anybody will feel offended, you are the big. But we know say right now people confident with them. If not be APC for instance, the one do that, like you know area, it all over. But now we not go area. Now when this government go down come on power, then people go on for correct the mistake we don't happen. But now everybody comfortable with that. Now the slumber itobo na be. Everybody be know say during the past government, they be don't allocate places for transferring people and we all know the kind of lives they would don't lost in that place. Or we feel say that way, that push, even the mayor way that for them push for. But for say again, they encourage people again from outside the investors and for can build school down bay. Could you imagine if you get picking the day at school during raining time, rain flooding happen, the disaster will go happen. We all need to watch that, even in the mayor way they on record, now slum areas. Or in one time we say they only use that for political goals. Because if not to that, if we don't encourage investors for let them develop that place so that we don't go do that for mile, and encourage people and for left bay, not to forgo again for can invest into bay. You know, but this all now politician in the docker. We wouldn't the ordinary citizens and the media and the civil society. Now we safeguard for the engagement, all engage into this type of discussion. So makes us most of them thing there we stop them before it begin. But when it don't begin, it just start like a spilled milk. When it don't begin, it will be very difficult for control. Now that they happen now, and Sierra Leone all what to don't see now Parliament and the nation at the wide now damage control. And all of that, so this commission of inquiry, whether they make this inquiry into the road business, all na damage control, because we not get policy where they attack issues from the beginning. So that's at the talk. Not that the program is very important, you know, and me are really happy. And now I make all it every week. I do now. They make sure every week I wait, no matter what I wait for the programs, you know. But now we start for the attack the issues at the beginning rather than we wait for it almost late. We start to discuss them. Thank you very much.
Okay, it's, as a quick response before I take the next call. Okay, from William, I agree with Mr. Umar, but you will only attack the issue at the beginning if you know what the issues are, because sometimes the issues not manifest themselves until they're not complete. For instance, the Arise agreements, where they take place now the North Day between Tonkolili and Putloko, concerning this issue of railroad and the transportation of the iron ore and all of that, where Arise will even begin for turn that train line day to commercial or passenger line. When we hear about that, we'll raise it right up. We'll begin challenge them on that. We'll begin to raise the issue. Then somehow we're not going to say we get anything to do with that, but it was abandoned, you know. And we understand, say, even the Chinese company will get the dominant right for operate a railroad in the transportation of the iron ore. They raise an objection that the government not get no right for use that corridor there for passenger train line. So yes, I agree, it's a good strategy, but only when you know what they're up to. But when you don't know when you're up to, we'll get to fall back to the next best move. And the next best move is what is going on now. We don't say Parliament will reconsider the toll road issue. will not say the toll road issue is highly faulty. So we dey try for make sure say e not die, the issue not die. We know what in Parliament could try for do, then we try for sweep under the rug. That's why we're talking about it. So we just get for keep fanning the flame, not for allow them, make them take things seriously for once. Let them look at that, let them revisit that contract. If they get for going to court, let them go to court. If there's some international court, if we own court, they're not strong enough for handle whatever dispute. But the Chinese, they have to be forced into revisit that agreement today, so the fair thing can be done. 27 years is too long, and this payment in perpetuity, which it seems like perpetuity meaning we're not going to ever finish paying for that toll road day. They're not going to say that road will be toll road for generations and generations to come. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's so unfair. It's hard to even believe that we own people then go enter into agreement of that type day. Against your interests. So the Chinese, they must feel say we are the most stupid people they've ever dealt with. Okay, let me take one quick call because I want to go back to my co-host. Hello, caller. What's side the call from? And if you want, you can tell me your name.
Yes, now good again from Leicester. Yeah, good Mustafa.
Yeah, Mr. Mustafa,
First of
thanks
all,
for
I
calling,
want to
sir.
respond to that fellow who talks. The first of all, he say the SLPP or the APC don't rule longer than the APC. I want to remind them SLPP ruled from 1953 to 1968, 13 years. Then ruled 1996 to 2007, 11 years ago, almost 24. Madam, you don't do 6 years, you don't go 30, so maybe he knows something they always they continue on 1961. Not just 1961 will begin rule. 1961 independence will get. SLP was formed in 1951 and then come into governance in 1953. Secondly, it talks again, corruption don't reduce. I don't know which side this call a day, and if you know they follow the trend. Corruption has in fact quadrupled. Now 1 year money we lost now government. It passed all the one the way BC lost throughout their tenure. So imagine the other years, the 5 years. If somebody take the auditor general, he pull him in the office, come out, better than auditor, what did they tell you? I don't understand who side this call do, or if you know they follow the happenings. The corruption cases, the way they ignore, we don't even touch. There are many, never before. They don't want to be. So I just want to touch on that quickly. Second, the other thing I want to talk about now, the investment, why would they get into this trouble? I don't understand whose magic way people expect to get for big. If you don't get money for spend, somebody say you can't spend money. What do you feel say it will benefit you? How you feel say it will benefit you? The person we can't spend the money, like Mr. Shillon talk, he say you don't understand the scenario. How they go put limited years, they not quote the amount of money waiting for pullback. Somebody just the kind of the country say I don't can spend 1 million or 200 million. Nobody audits that paper saying that 200 million don't spend. And at the end of the day, they say we want 25 years, 27 years. Now because the government then feels say the only duty waiting for fulfill now for pay salaries. So they want to see something happening. Now immediately they talk about investment. What is investment can now? What did it be? You can't invest the money. Now you know what you invest. Now you they pull the money. Now you they make the terms of the agreement. You do anything you want to do, you get away with it. So that's the reason why this country don't ever go before. Because they want the way they take over governance. I can't understand how the people in SLP they see don't all. They can't give this man who knows how to manage. Okay, first year I understand. The second year come, when they rally around somebody who knows how to any type of management. This is the problem. Now they want the only way we salon government they see something, they go commission, they launch. Now if somebody can't pull the money, he can't for can exploit. All the so-called investors who run Canada country for the past 20 years, that they are not investors, these are exploiters. They can't for can exploit the situation. A desperately poor nation, not in terms of resources, in terms of management. They know sabi their priorities. So you can't say, I want to make something. Oh, government say, come. Can't take yonder. Anyhow, I want do am. As long as you build that project, you complete them. This is what is happening. So let us know the doubt over where we are going, where we are not going. We are going into the hole, and we will continue to go inside until the day will change. Say, we government na business, and business is going to be run, with administrators where they make sure the profit come out of them. Otherwise, we are going to continue, and people will try. Let me just touch this briefly. If they can't invest on the Lungi bridge now, how una fit say get for
Yeah,
free?
go
Now
ahead.
300 years and they give the people them. By the time they don't get the money, the bridge don't collapse. I will let for Air Force. Una, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Let me take one more call, then we can deal with everything at once. Mr. Mengo, just hold off if you
Hello.
get anything to respond to.
Yeah,
You could
I have a
respond to
call
all of
from
this. Yes,
the
caller,
UK.
go ahead.
With
Yes, sir.
regard to one of the caller, we talk about proactive moves in the systems, the things that already happen at the country. Like I want to just bring sorry a scenario regarding UK. UK, the conservative, then be aware of the Brexit, the EU status where they be get. So it come at a point where the the Labour Party open the borders for let the EU they infiltrate na UK. They all come in. But it not been go down well with the conservative. So conservative being and kind of parliament, it not work. So then turn back the conservative where them kind of power, then try at all costs for let them come out inside Brexit, the EU. So same way, like the gate from that one, they are just bringing and kind of as a scenario where SLPP kind of power. They meet up, say, there is an airport, a brand new airport where they for don't give it. Now, mama, where that one they for don't easy for people the way they live. Kenima, Bo, McKinney, then cancel that airport day, right? Waiting at the a big deal with this toll gates where now easy one and that then campaign with for say where they go disqualify. Why make them not go into that toll gate day? I remember one of the minister where they now talk say one of the minister I don't know if now work Sandy. He said them in the protest, but now inside their mouth or inside their heart them in the protest. They not be the protest for the people them for let them know. Come on. How can you do that? If now also you talk then they sack you straight away because you not qualify for being a minister even. You need a protest inside your heart. Protest, let the people know that this is the protest for and illegal. You know, that make you an opposition. But that kind of opposition where Sierra Leone they pass so no, we get far force. For let's Sierra Leone change, we get far force. First and foremost, until we all unite, we all get one heart, one mind, one focus. If not, that's sectionalism, that tribalism, that regionalism. If that may not come out now with concepts, if we not eradicate that one day, so only they ever go before. We still dey backward. All the thing now they do so, now the best thing now they do so. But the leaders, then they listen, then they agree, then they focus. No. First and foremost, then get the what they call say, whether the kind of power, then they ask una questions, then they bet una for let una ask them questions. Immediately when they go inside, you not for ask them question again. But you don't promise say you dey go build 50 factories na one grade one region. Now when they ask you now for say, wait, now so you be don't say. Anybody will ask that question, then now you go for the let them go arrest her, let them kill her. Now right thing one day, you know they do that one day na Europe. But I don't know no more how comes the kind of education where we people then get. You know, I don't know.
All right. Thank you very much, Kola. I think the machine got you in terms of cutting you off. So sorry about that, but if you get more for safe time, if there's time left, you can call back. Let's go straight to my co-host, Mr. Mengot, because I'm sure he get plenty for say. Mr. Mengot, back to you.
Yes, I think say we don't talk about waiting Basiru Siliki bin say when I the Honorable Basiru. Now look at say okay, because all the comments we don't make now about waiting the current party, whether in parliament, in government, waiting the MPs they may say in parliament. At the time, we been get Honorable Dr. Bernadette Lahai, Naina the minority leader of parliament. The speaker been called herself polite talk. And again, at the quote from himself say, he talk about the consultation, and he also emphasized say, therefore look at the document holistically, not just the changes that have been reduced, for which we are very happy. Remember, the changes, they were happy with the changes. The changes, that means the price. But at the same time, therefore look at the whole document. She was the leader of the minority. So himself called at the time for a look at the document. Then he said at the time, currently we know that a lot of people are unable to even provide the basic transport from one place to another. So that is an issue. But another issue we raised, he said, he asked the speaker and honorable members, they want the minister for let them expedite, which means say, let them speed up the upgrading of those alternative roads because they have them in their agreement. Okay, I'm a bit of a transport engineer. I know say there was some old road during the war, right? Where they link, sometimes you will know better, Mr. Shillon, where they link from that Wellington area, alternative road where you can bus mile 47 without using the existing Freetown Masakau highway. I think that they mean to talk about that. Now by old road, now being an old road. The idea was the Chinese and the government before upgrade that road, they will get an alternative route because this road now the only road where they link Freetown and the regions. Now, when people they talk about alternative road, because I understand say in 2019, I go do a review of Tollgate operations. That was part of a job I've been do on transport governance. What's me happen now each of the toll, because you get 3 toll gates. You get Hastings, you get Songo, you get Mashaka. So now each of them toll road them, you get side road them. Because the one at Hastings, you pass na the side, you go past na that old airfield. In fact, you see the toll on the other side. Now just like shortcuts, like what you call yard road. So now that yard road, the people they use for avoid the toll. But later on, we realized recently that's not an alternative route. They say the Chinese they don't go dig hole and block them because each one been getting yard road then they. The other thing where Madam Lahai say, they say, Mr. Speaker, member, I want to briefly talk about the issue related to construction of markets along the toll road. Because they say, as part of the corporate social responsibility, therefore build markets then at the road. Because I say the markets are also social places that are very important. They are also a means through which new technology are adopted and diffused. So, their market then they where they say they discuss say the Chinese people CRSG for build markets around the routes. That did not happen because we hear them say that's not the part of the agreement recently. Then he talk about security. Let me read in English. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, with regards to security, the police have been removed and replaced by cameras. This is which I'm not aware of. Say they pull police, they replace them by camera. And no say the toll gates, they get camera because I don't use them. And then camera, then they, now for record where they approach the toll, where drivers they approach the toll, the camera, they look at the number plates. It tell them your vehicle number and your registration and the type of vehicle, now so that they charge you the toll. But apart from that, there's no other camera for monitor waiting the happen, which I think now something where they been talk about. Because if they been getting camera then they, like CCTV camera, where the government, now therefore they in charge, they been for able, they monitor the activities of CRSG and even able to get data, real-time data about Uda and Uda, then they use the toll. So that's now the leader of the opposition, I shouldn't say. Now we get the other postulate done this part now, then I'll come to you because I want to talk about what happened recently. The leader of government business, that are the majority leader at the time, was Honorable Leonard Fofana. That are the one who lead the APC. In talk say, the document will help members and clear the doubts of what some of the people they talk about. They also talk about the toll increases, but he make a mention, Honorable Speaker, fears expressed by honorable members is the removal of police along the corridor. They say because they pull police. Government is not removing the police from the entire road. They are removing the police checkpoints that were originally on the road, where it is alleged that police were charging for traffic regulation on that road. However, in terms of ordinary security, the police will be available. We know the fears of members of parliament and lots of other things usually happen along the road. I want to state here that the police will be available constantly. It is not only the closed circuit TV cameras that are going to be left unattended. The CCTV cameras are going to be used there for the provision of traffic regulation and not the police. So let me talk about CCTV cameras. But as far as I know, there are no CCTV cameras. Okay, you also say again, once he said, even though the agreement, the construction period is for 4 years, we all know that the Chinese are always capable of achieving the construction time in a shorter period. So, in other words, they may say the construction period now 4 years, but they don't begin collect toll before they even finish. So these are the concerns. So I don't get decide from the record, waiting the leader of the opposition say, waiting the leader of government business say, and waiting the man now where now they oversee this review. What comes of all of this? Now, what come out of all of this now, for say, the toll road, at the time, people were not only concerned about the price, but now some of the things in the contract. And for reference, people they can go, if you want to get this document where I go to, where I refer to, so, if you go under the Parliament's website, which is www.parliament.gov.sl, you get section where they call Hansard section, that are reports of Parliament. You click them, you check the session, the date's now Thursday, 17th August 2017. So you go able to see this document, you go read them. I go urge all the people and let them go read them, see how them MP they say. For verify what I don't talk. Say this deal, in my own view, it's bad for the people of Sierra Leone. The contract is one-sided. And if we want to review the toll fee, let we go back to look at denting in the agreement. I will stop here. If you get any comment, then I will talk now finally about this session where they can get on the 14th, waiting the different parties they may say. Over to you.
Yeah, just 1 minute or less. This just for me confirm what the position I've always taken in terms of this APC SLPP issue. I've always maintained these two parties, there is no distinguishable, there's no difference. There's no distinction between the two parties. Then they operate from the same standpoint with the same desire to come in there and get rich. So anybody will see APC and this thing about like what Mr. Mustafa talk about, somebody call and talk about this party don't rule longer than this party. All of that is irrelevant. Thievery is thievery. To me, is that example they always it sounds so silly. It's like saying these two parties then get record. We all agree for say they've been very destructive to the well-being of the country and the people. But then they get there is established record. Not to say this is not speculation. Then when you get people now begin to talk about, well, this dot thief longer than this one, this dot thief longer. What difference does it make? The resources of the country is being depleted or are being depleted. So it no matter whether that rule long, because the argument about whether that rule longer is a matter of whether that take 1 or 2 years longer for destroy the country. Because Mr. Omar talked about the airports now, Kenema. That's an act towards destruction, but going to lead towards progress. Then why you will abandon an old airport that was about 4 miles long? Then you say, when I want a portion down there for Selam, and I wonder if Parliament get any hands into that in terms of whether a minister could just grab on his own, begin for sale government property, that isn't that governed by some kind of statute? Okay, of begin a portion for converting into housing area. So these are some of the things. How can you call that progressive? That minister, they not even get the pride. If he's from the south, if he's from the east, he's from the east. If I be proud enough for say, well, we used to forget airports now. We used to forget this, we'll get for go back to the glorious days. No, it's all about money. That minister, they not seem for care if Kenema not even get motorcar parking lots. If he get the chance to go sell the parking lot, one motorcar in the park. These are some of the annoying things about these guys. They are not only not serious, day after day after day, then they demonstrate gross incompetence. And so there are some people who are just hung up on this party politics. And I keep telling people, this is another classic example that we're seeing right now. This Tollgate thing where they talk about, who under which government? Now under the APC, now then do this extraordinarily poor job for tie the country. But now SLPP use them for campaign. And I think maybe they were sincere at the time. It was a lopsided agreement or contract. But then when they kind of power now, they reverse role, then see an opportunity for make money, an opportunity for collude with the Chinese then, for exploit the country. And when they do that, they look in the area of fisheries, okay? You go get a gift or a donation from China of a patrol boat, for patrol the sea. Where they would equip that boat there with all kind of equipment where what could spy against we. When we say with the monitor illegal fishers then, they not equip the boat then in such a way where the boats they come, then go get the equipment over the tell the very Chinese they would fish illegal in the water, say, oh, then they come. How do we continue to demonstrate such lack of understanding of reality is what I don't understand. But this is a classic example. One political party will be there in power, go into a bad agreement, another, unconsciously the other party will be there in opposition, knew it was bad, advocate strenuously that it was bad. As Mr. Mengot pointed out, Dr. Bernadette Lahai and this Mr. Siliki, now he's in charge. Let we see if he see what he be criticized about the road before, if you see now when I then get power, now they in charge. But we get the suspicion they are going to come out not in the interest of the people, but in the interest of themselves. So more power to Una. We see this great hope. Of then two parties here, but they are total disappointment. Total disappointment. If people do not see that, we don't understand what else would they see. But back to you, Mr. Mengot. We mentioned something about trending topics we may want to touch on, but maybe we'll go time after your time. So the trending topic about the kush in the sardine factory, if we're able, if we get the time, we'll get to that. If we're not, we'll just table them for next week. So let me go back to you, sir.
Okay, now we don't gain at the history of this. The last session where Parliament's been get, now the 14th of March, this Thursday we pass. This is now the third session. The previous session, you been get all the other people then. But this time, after that second session day, then we ask people then for give written submission. And then call them back in the Parliament for let them go talk about what they think. The people that we go talk, you get Native Consortium headed by Edmond Abu. Edmond Abu now don't try forget the other people then for joining, like the passenger welfare, even the Puda Association, and all the rest of it. What did they say? They self mentioned the need for the alternative routes. Then talk about say, therefore, reduce the number of toll gates. Because me say don't talk them. In all my experience of tolls in Africa and elsewhere, I don't see any reason why you get 3 toll gates over a distance of 62 kilometers. Right? So they are saying, again, what me say we don't say. With the agreement call for that. Say they forget the financial record where the minister says something get. Let them update the people them, just like what you said. It come back to what you be not say. We all don't get mortgage. Where you get mortgage in this country? And the same thing, you go take money from bank, you buy yours. Now very few people in the bills that they are. When they give out mortgage in for 25 years. And in the mortgage, then they specify your payment of the capital and the interest rates. Sometimes they will give fixed interest rates, they will give variable interest rates. Then you know the period over which you pay. So initially, in some mortgages, the interest they high, the capital payment they low. But as time they goes up, the capital they reduce, they reduce the capital, the interest payment they reduce on the capital, whatever way you look at it. So at least you know say after 25 years, we take that mortgage.
It's over.
You don't pay.
It's done with. Yeah, exactly.
It's done with. Not so like this agreement where the Chinese don't tell we say even when we pay done, we for still give them 10%, which means the terms of the contract.
Even when we pay done, we'll not pay done.
We'll not pay done. So the terms of the contract, which means say they go still operate the toll and they charge with 10%, we go be that now maintenance. So now that's, but the other person where come, now the motor drivers union, the president, what he say? In talk say, in that 2017, they wait them in they do the toll, they call out for represent the motor drivers union. He say, not been agree. He not been agree. He not be like the idea. He say, but then call in a state house. He not tell we who that call her. He say, now then tell and say, who sign stop na in the beginning. So in other words, whatever he talk, they will still go ahead with the toll. So he had no option, but for sign, say yes, in support her. But then the other thing we talk about is say, even this present increase, ain't no get problem with the other increases then at the different category then. The only increase that they want with the truck then, in they say, well, let them make 300,000 or 300 new loans for Salon truck and 500 for them Guinea truck. In other words, then truck the way they transport food. I don't know if now the truck the way they transport, when a Salon registered truck where they transport things that go Guinea on a Guinea registered truck. But then it comes to one conclusion where it say, whether they reduce the toll or they increase the toll, whatever fee they put, they not go get no option now for make the transporter themselves increase the price. Right? And remember when they talk about increase in price, they talk about increase in price for goods, service, and increase in price for passenger. So now, waiting, like the one for good service, now interesting. Then they get more effect because when the way where then if like say you can't buy bag cement, you do construction upland. Then they charge you not the volume, then they charge you per bag of the cement bag or like rest bag where they load. And also that transporter they not guarantee of a return load. So the money where they pay, it cover the fuel and labor cost to and fro. So not a one way they pay for it, they pay for 2 ways. That makes the cost of transportation very high. And now initially government, I mean, they set cost under the 1964 Act where established the Road Transport Corporation for both freight and passenger. But now they don't worry about freight, but then they still set cost for passenger. Now fares, then they set fares for passenger. Now that been bring this draw where they encounter this worker fine boss, then another thing. So we're going to ask, say, how then they set fare? So, waiting at the reaction, for now done this part now, right? If the control room can play an audio where the first audio, now waiting the Poda and Poda Association and say, as the next step, then the second one, now waiting the Notive Consortium with Passenger Welfare say. So control room, if you can play the audio then they, so let people know what's going to happen next.
So Monday, we don't call for a press conference at Parliament.
Good evening to this wonderful forum. Mr. Daniels, thank you very, very much for your time and your effort. God bless you. Thank you. We appreciate. Una we go today. Una thank you. God bless you. But Mr. Daniel, last time you go pa say the ministry no say we dey or they not recognize. The ministry no say we dey, they recognize we, but they no say drivers union and for the drivers union they work. I don't talk this what they are trading here. Drivers union and for the government then they work. They don't even represent the drivers the way they name the Pantapre. So now they do one deliberately, they know very well what minister after minister, now that Ministry of Transport, they know we, they recognize we. If you don't know why they bring we, it's like, why they invite people at this Boston business? A lot of meetings on the when they do fuel business for increased price or for a rainbow fuel, then can call we there at times. Never mind, waiting and can decide no more than they go tell we. If you don't recognize we, then we'll do any Mr. Daniels. What the document, even the prices they can pull. So they know they sign. So they never come and say no, they sign because they not do according, they do the arrangement according to. But still they go ahead with that. They know very well say if we did, then bring we kind of the lights. But that drivers unions, maybe this is on the drivers union, don't tell them. If they open road for them, bring you kind of the lights. They don't see when they pass, give people the easy ones, so then kind of bad law within the council for suffer the masses. We no go agree. Because we the motuka owners, the thing they meet with directly. Oh, I mean, Mr. Alfabano will go talk with you and talk. Nothing of a campaign at Tollgate, no. Nothing of a pay. If you know how they talk, say go represent the civil society organizations. You know they pay Tollgate. Some man they go now for their own pocket, everybody they go look for. I mean this country don't spoil. People need look for the masses. Then they go get no more small taking away they get. You see on your own corner. Eater. You forget the thing they can hunt them back. So the ministry know we very well. But now because they know say the decisions they win a bad decision the way they want pass, so we no go support her. Drivers union go support her. Then they do and willfully they sideline we then bring drivers union kind of the picture because it need affect nothing but drivers union. Then they collect their ticket, they make the money as usual. In regard to get now we they get extra body, we and the passengers there. So the ministry know very well what in they pay Mr. Daniels. Now, no this country, this country need to go before. Sorry for the language. You not say the post way for me to not talk, you don't follow something come on fine. You sideline and job because you want to do what you feel for do. Whether I good or bad now, you don't care. Thank you very much for your effort, sir.
So Monday, we don't call for a press conference at Parliament. We were there at the consultation with Edwin Abu. And of course, I didn't know we did away in the Edmund called Mr. Warite for getting approval, say they are with us. So again, okay, and a them their document. So possibly tomorrow, Mr. Edmund will go meet him with the document for make it pendant and signature. Yeah. So Monday by 10 o'clock, we go in at Parliament. We start to go do we press conference and voice out we position paper. Tell journalists and say we say no to any increase at any cost of the toll gate. And also we remind the president say during in campaign time he been promised say when he come he will review the toll gate. Yeah, so those are some of the things we they go put down before the journalists have at the press conference on Monday.
The first audio, now a representative of the Passenger Poda and Bus Owners Association, we should clearly say one word not there between them and the Motor Drivers Union. And Motor Drivers Union, now they go talk on their behalf where they not agree. So they don't join Passenger Welfare Association and Native Consortium for say then they against this tool, and then they go do a press conference. So now what will they wait for next? Now government, when they may not ask for let them get the Chinese group CSRG for produce their statement of accounts from 2017, the traffic data, details of waiting and not collect, the maintenance plan, and then they go make we determine. But again, they insist, just like how the politicians have been saying, and the civil society, that this issue not just the increase. We get for look at the contract. So we go stay tuned. We go the updating now about the toll gates because we want to see the improvement. We get Right to Access Information Act. So if the minister say in get a report and then financial report, I feel to say it's supposed for make it open to the public. And this consortium here, we they communicate to them, themselves can make application for get that information. If they get them, we in this platform go share with reviewers them and discuss them because this now with all the effects. Even if you get out, you get fumble them. Now we were there, they send money for the brand travel. Because you know they come off free somewhere na the ultimate day for go na the provinces or the regions, which have pass through them told the day. You know they come on at the region for camp freedom, and I did most of the hospital days. So if you people are sick, say they want canton, it affect we because now we get for subsidize them. So let's stop here and let me co-host like comment on this so far. And if you get time for, I think say we get 5-10 minutes. If you are Rob Mott and the other issue the way they say it will Rob Mott they'll go close.
Well, I think with respect to the issues in we just want to highlight the number for say we will probably discuss them next time around because these are issues in the human rights that could entail significant amount of time. But with respect to what you just say, I not get any more comment in the sense that we don't make it clear or for all parliament them fits to the fire. You don't establish to we for say Mr. Siliki, Dr. Bernadette Lahai, and even the current president of Sierra Leone, they use that toll gates agreement there as a campaign issue. And then promise the people and say, well, they can go review them. Maybe if they get enough regard for the people and go tell, they can able for tell we say they may review them, maybe they not be announce them, and let them tell which they find. But I tell you, if they're not going to say so because then, like I say, this is an unconscionable agreement. This is an agreement where, based upon the analysis by Mr. Mengot, we're not going to ever have to pay. I mean, this is a ridiculous agreement. Even when we finish paying in 27 and first of all, common sense dictates that the payment will be finished about half of that time. In 15 years, whatever was spent, 160 with interest and everything, will have been paid. And the rate at which Motogar and the passenger. Okay? So in 15 years, there will be no debt owed. Okay? But that said, we see now where everybody's just dead silent, those who are in opposition. Well, again, it's for keep repeating myself. So people don't see the kind of disservice when people in the render to, then give the Chinese them upper hand. We don't need any help. Then they give we waterways and everything to the Chinese them. Depriving of we own local fishermen of fishing and making a livelihood of that. Giving the Chinese they will not need that. Would they take boats, patrol boat from the Chinese, or they don't equip for spy at in their favor. We're not getting enough common sense for say they're not to the right people who for take a boat from. But if we do, we'll forget expert them from other country, Norway, England, France, for expecting boat here for make sure say they're not to gift against our interests. I mean, the whole thing is just bad. Should I call that cruelty in the sense that people don't care? Those who are entrusted with the responsibility, then they camouflage people them by preaching party politics, where the performance so dismal. That is really disappointing. And I'm not so convinced that these people don't know what they're doing. They're just outright wicked, So I hate for keep repeating that because that's what it is. With respect to the issues that Mr. Mengo just referred to, we were talking about the Kush issue. Last week or week before, I mentioned how Gambia, they put out, say, they never had a Kush problem until Israelis begin to export Kush to the country. Okay, that should be a cause of concern for our government. But they address this issue that much. And we see how many people on a daily basis are being killed. We don't know how many more who are alive who are being injured mentally and physically as a result of this Kush. We don't see any active participation on the part of government in terms for slowdown. When the Sierra Leone becomes so infamous for Kush trafficking, and Kush is in fact far more dangerous than cocaine and all that in there, and look at the side effects besides the byproduct of Kush. Now, because of Kush, cemeteries are not safe because they say one of the ingredients that for take dead people and bone for put as one of the components then for get a very potent product. So the Kush usage is not only detrimental to public health, but now it is spread, public health in the form of dead bodies are being pulled from graves, are being robbed, I know because you get what you call grave criminals. People know where they go.
Kagwe, are you there? Hello?